And this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, and internet sensation movie star himself, Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. What's good, Jeffrey?
Nothing much, Doug. How are you?
Just fine. Did a little show this weekend.
How was it?
It was
right?
okay. Yeah, it was at Mellows. It was our first show since Brian's passing over there. And, we had a good turnout. And
That's good. Good to hear.
We did multi-organization. We did IASCA and DB Drag. I always forget about everybody else. So, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was kind of a hot day in the morning. A lot of people drove from Fresno, which is about a 4-hour drive. There was a handful of people that made the trip. Did Fresno and then came up to Mellows for the afternoon show where it was much cooler because it was a nighttime show.
That's always cool when you get those multiple shows during one weekend and you just like hit them nonstop. It reminds me of back in the early 2000 when SoCal had the shows. Man, there was one at Long Beach and then there was one in LA and then you go up north. And I remember Jim Jean. You all remember Jim Jean. He got like points legend status by hitting the SoCal shows in the AM and then the PM shows.
Well, one time he hit a LA show and then he hit a he went from LA and then hit one in Bakersfield and then followed it up with hitting one in Sacramento. Whoa. We got all kinds of, I missed a whole bunch here. Yeah, we have a few pics and videos up here. Let's see, that's only if there isn't any traffic. Oh, this is last week's one. Yeah, this is all the stuff for Moses. Sorry. Jose Ramos checking in. Oh, that's because I'm looking at the wrong one. I clicked on last week's. That's why.
Let me do a test here.
Yep, that's the last one. Let me refresh, and then let me go here. I'm still trying to get everything set up.
I wonder if Jim Jean's still like on the top of the leaderboard as far as career points.
He may. So I actually ran into him at Nyman's.
What?
Yeah, he showed up for Nyman's memorial.
Oh, okay.
So so he was there. Whoa. Moderators can support channel close. I don't want to do that. Well, what the hell did I do now?
Uh-oh.
I pushed a button. Anyway, I did run into him at the show at Nyman's Memorial and talked to him for quite a bit. Him and Rusty had some what the heck? Why am I on YouTube? Oh, that's my YouTube one. Okay. Him and Rusty had some differences from back in the day, and according to Jim and Rusty, they got it all worked out,
hashed out. Huh? That's good.
That's good to hear. I still see Moses on there. Let me go mine. I'm gonna go to mine. Oh, did that refresh it? Yeah, I still got Moses on there. So I'm just gonna go to my page and click on it there. I should be sharing it. Is anybody seeing it on the Sonic FX page, or are you seeing it on my page? Is the question. Start a new job. There we go. Now I can get you guys. Anyway, yeah. So we did our show. Oh, I see a good competitor from Rosa. Let's see if we start populating some of our stuff now.
Oh, speaking of, they were out doing all the shows this weekend, right?
Yeah,
I
so
thought
they're
I
one
saw.
of the people that did that. And
Yeah,
then on
cool.
Sunday, there was a USAC/IASCA up near where our guest lives, Mr. Ryan
Oh, okay.
Rutherford. It was Sonoma Raceway, I believe. Is that where that was at?
Oh yeah, right.
And so that's going to be pretty close to where you were at.
Yeah, I did not attend.
You did not attend, huh?
No,
Not an IASCA or a USAC guy, huh?
no, not yet.
Okay. That's good. I actually talked to Jose today, and Jose on here. I think this is senior. Anyway, so I did talk to Jose today, and he mentioned that he was going to uh, start doing some more DB drag shows. So he's going to
Cool.
try and co-locate. Oh, Tiffany's chiming in for a little bit. You missed last week, so they had a Father's Day event out in Barbados and posted a lot of video.
Oh, yeah, she shared some videos with me. I guess one of the promoters did a video
Yeah,
compilation, and it looked really cool. Like
yeah.
everybody had so much fun there.
I told her, I go, man, that was some pretty high production value
Yeah.
for somebody that was running a show. And she goes, oh, yeah, that wasn't us.
But it's
So,
always good to be around people like that because
yes.
they can make we can just make each other look good.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. But anyway, so, we got up there. We did beat the boss and all that side. There's Manny Alejandre popping in. Yeah, so we did beat the boss this week. And our guest this week, Ryan Rutherford, did not beat the boss.
I did not.
Oh,
Man, it was close, but
what class was it? 20s?
yeah, I was doing 29.9.
That's
Yeah,
always hard.
yeah,
He he
I
tied
got
me
a little
once.
panic. Yeah, I got a little panic there at the end, and I was like at a point 0.7 with 3 seconds left, and I throttled it, and I hit 130.0 to his 29.9. So
That's always so risky when you're right there, time winding
it,
down, and you're like, man, I got to do something, and you just gun it, and then it's like,
Hey,
so
it's a
risky.
it's a trap shoot. Yeah.
he did. He absolutely, yeah. That Rose is right. His 29.9 was on point. Um, you
It's
if
hard.
I didn't record video this show, but uh, dude, he for Top Dog the way he does it, he was sitting at 9.7, 9.8, 9.9, almost 20 seconds of the run at least. So his top dog points were going crazy, and he ended up
Wow.
being our top dog this weekend also.
Oh, no way. That's cool. Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
your first time doing Top Dog?
yeah, beginner's luck. Yeah, I was just
Okay.
trying to get into another format other than
Hmm.
29.9. So I thought I'd try Top Dog, and I was like, well, the principle seems to be the same. You just got to dance a little
Yeah.
closer to 29.9. So
See, so keep that mentality because I think it's and I'm sorry if I'm planting a seed here, but I think it's when we get into like, man, how can I do better or what can I do? And it kind of throws a wrench into things because you're thinking about it so much now that if you just go into it as you're coming in as your first competition, it's like, bliss. It's a lot better thinking in that mindset anyways, I think.
right, the beginner's mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had fun. I was just relaxed the whole time, and
Hmm.
I was just as shocked to be winning as and just going rounds. So I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
Joel, yeah, San Jose Joel says his power kept going out during base race and Top Dog.
Oh
He
yeah.
ain't wrong.
Oh man, why? Was it
Uh,
heat? Was it
no,
like
he
heat?
just says he has to figure it out. So he has three systems in his car, right? He's got the factory, he's got the wall, and then he's got the
Crank it down, right?
the back, right?
The back, yeah.
Dude, why is he asking me if I do car audio? Hold on, wait. I am currently doing a car audio podcast at this moment. Go check it out on YouTube. This week in car audio.
Yes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
All right. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
There you go. Oh, it said light, not like. Anyway, so Mr. Rutherford, tell everybody here listening and all that stuff. Um, how did? Oh, he says he was just watching. Um, how did you come into the competition as far as base race and top dog, and maybe how you came up with your strategy to participate?
Yeah, I mean, it goes way back. I mean, my first introduction to car audio was in late 80s. You know, my parents took me to a car show in Oceanside that had a pretty good car audio element to it. And me and my dad were sticking our heads in these cars and just being like blown away. We couldn't even see where the speakers were. And we're like, how are these things so loud? And the Sherwin Vega van was there. And, so we got these demos, and I was just, around that time, it was like the Beastie Boys and Run DMC. And so bass music heavy was a thing. And all we had was like boom boxes and, things like that. So I got my first car when I was 13 years old, and I had two systems in it before I could drive it. Wow. And then I took a little hiatus until I got the car that I have now, the Dodge Charger. And I joined a car club, and one of the guys had 215s and a Dodge Charger. And he encouraged, I was like, holy crap, it sounded so good, because, I was dealing with a 70s muscle car system, and now it sounded so good in these newer cars, that had all the sound deadening already in them. And so he took me to, or let's see, maybe you can help me out. My first show was
Autorama.
It was in Sacramento, and it was behind a car audio store. And this was in 2011, and like Gary Killian was there. I remember.
Well, he was there at every one of them, so.
Yeah, he made a big impression.
Where was it? Next to a freeway?
Sacramento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it underneath the freeway, or?
No, I just remember it was in the back parking lot of. There was a car audio shop in front, and anyway, I mean, I didn't know what
it might have been
doing.
Greg Purcell's shop when he had Audio Express right there next to the freeway. We would go down the side of the building, and all of like if you were looking at the towers on the right side, there were the install bays, and then you go and you park behind the building. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that was Greg Purcell's shop, Audio Express.
I had no idea what I was doing there. But I had built this system, and I wanted to get a score to see what it was going to do. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of my introduction, and it was, get on a meter and see what the thing was going to do.
Did it hurt your feelings?
No,
Okay.
the bar was really low, so
okay.
I was proud of myself. I walked away with some hardware in my class, and I remember I think I was playing music, bass racing instead of a test tone, because I didn't have what is it, the boom check. So I was like, I was all discombobulated, but. Then, I started going to Autoramas and then Toys for Tots runs and stuff like that. And I kind of got it together. And then the last time I was at Mello's, Scott jumped in my car and taught me bass racing.
Oh, Scott Lankius. Yeah, Lankius.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he doesn't jump into anything. He kind of falls into it.
Yeah, but he was kind enough to help me out, and
he's a good teacher.
He is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It was cool, and that's what was interesting was I didn't have boom check, and I got a wave file from Doug, and I was able to do more than 29.9. I was doing 39.9, and I did pretty well with it, but then the next time I tried a boom check that I got from Rebased, and I couldn't hit 39.9. It just was a quieter track, so that was it, Autorama, and that discombobulated me. But so I was kind of hungry to get in there and get it right, and my kids got me for my birthday one of the T.W.I.C.A bass knobs. So
Josh T2, huh?
Oh man,
yeah,
kids
yeah.
must love you.
We're gonna
That's pretty
see him.
pricey.
That's right.
Yeah, it's my son Maverick. This next go
He
around.
competed too this weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you hooked him
He
up with a
borrowed
guy.
Chris Jenner's car. I told him it was Jensen, but it's Jenner. So it was Chris
was
Jenner.
really cool for doing that. Yeah. And he had his remote bass knob, which Maverick wasn't used to, but he did pretty good. He gave it a good try. So yeah. So anyway, it all came together. This time with the knob, and I got some new equipment. I got a new amp, got a new 18, and it was just super consistent, and it was really solid, and I felt like I had really good control over it. So that's pretty much how I got into doing all of that.
Yep. So I did ask him. So where did you get your strategy while you're running the base race and the top dog? And what was your response to that?
So I just listened to the podcast, and there's tips, and right before I also was talking to oh crap, I was talking to one of the guys, and he was like, just get up as fast as you can. And I think that is, I find, and that's when I was doing Beat the Boss, like you jumped up a lot quicker than I did. And I feel like the algorithm or whatever's going on there allows you at the higher end to be more finite and be more controlled. So get up as fast as you can. Don't even slow down until you're in the 29, and then just dance and flirt with that 0.9, So that's what I was doing. I mean, I also saw people who busted out, right off the jump too. So that can happen too. And as the cars get hot and they get cold, and the parameters I think change. But just getting up there. I mean, you're always yelling at people, get it up. So don't be conservative and then just slide into 29.9, because that's probably harder to do right there, because you're dealing with all that lag, for the first 30 seconds.
Yep. Anyway, so you were from the outside, just kind of playing a little bit, and then decided to jump in. Are you planning on going to Reno this weekend?
Nothing on the books right now.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the list,
because we'll be in Reno on Saturday night, Saturday at 3 p.m. Show off, go up there and show Josh how you use his knob.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Before I forget, I need to mention our sponsor of the show. We got Voodoo Customs, e-box design and installs, Stolman Transportation LLC. Remember, if you got a chance to support the people that support the things that you guys like to do.
Don't forget bass.
Oh, I see him up here now. Bass. Badass Sounds by Steve. Don't forget him. So, and he's a big sponsor, especially in the Dallas area, of Jeffrey shows. And there's E-Box right there popping in. Hello, everybody.
Speaking of.
Yep. But anyway, please support the people who support things you guys like. So if you guys have an opportunity to buy something from somebody who supports us. All right, now back to this. So, so your son played, which was awesome, right?
Yeah, like I said, we're rebuilding his car. His car's apart. I think we're doing a Cyclone build, or he really likes the low stuff. So he's got 218s and a little Jetta, and
you guys have a preferred brand?
So we have we're all running Phi, black Ecos. We're doing the 411s. So he's got 218s in that, and I have the same 18 and single 18 in the Charger. and then we're both running B2 amps and bass recovery bass knobs.
Nice. Who's louder?
Oh, he is.
Wasn't even a question.
Yeah, his first Scar setup did a 49.7 or something like that.
Okay. Just missed the booming 50s, huh?
Yeah, and that was
So
just all
close.
Scar stuff, and he was really hungry to get that 150, so we just started all over, So he's got a Warpath.
Oh, kicker?
So yeah, the Warpath Energy
Oh,
lithium bank,
Oh, the batteries.
and
Okay.
yeah, new alternator
Uh-huh.
and everything like that. So the build's probably, not gonna. I don't know. We might finish before the end of the season, but we got a lot to do. We're gonna do a steel roof in it and stuff like that. So
wow. Is it in a wall or no wall?
trunk wall with
Trunk
inverted
wall.
stubs. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
yeah.
Uh,
So it'll be pretty crazy. It'll be loud.
Rosa says, the Mrs. Moses says, gotta love that bass is going from generation to generation in his family.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
So,
Yeah, my oldest son, he's got an Audi, and he's got a 15 in it, and he was just busy this last weekend, or else he would have thrown his hat in the ring there too.
oh,
So I mean, it's like, from the time they were kids, I was into it, and I think my daughter got a good taste of music out of it, and my son's just got the bug. I mean, I've built systems in all their cars and my wife's car, and of course she's very supportive and tolerant of the entire thing. So it's great to have a partner like that. And yeah, it's been fun for a family, and we get to they're 18, 20, and 24 years old, but we still spend a lot of time doing it together as a family. So
awesome. Steve
Yeah.
Willis wants to know, what is a trunk wall?
uh
Do you know who
so
Steve Willis is?
no.
Oh, okay. So, every year he competes, he wins a ring. Just saying.
Oh, no shit.
What?
Well done.
So he's out of the Sacramento area. But tell him what a
Okay.
trunk wall is.
Well, the seats fold down and you have a box right there that's sealed from the trunk.
So that's his version of a trunk wall, Steve. So
We port everything into the cabin so nothing goes back.
Yep.
But that's I'm not the savviest builder or anything like that. But
he's pretty
that's what
savvy.
yeah,
I'm just saying.
that's my knowledge of it. Anyway, I could be wrong.
Yeah, we've had him on the podcast before. But yeah, he's the one that had the Subaru and the Samurai, and did very well at World Finals with that. So I mean, he, like I said, he's had a few builds that have been top notch builds. Very good. He's out of the Sacramento area too.
So we just call it trunk then.
Yeah, it's just a trunk.
Okay,
Just a trunk
not
build.
trunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
unless it's a free air, right? Which is an infinite baffle,
Oh, right. Yeah.
right? But we don't do infinite baffles anymore days. Steve says thanks for the explanation.
No. Okay.
Nah, Steve's a good dude. He helped me out with a bunch of stuff after Brian's passing and stuff. But like I said, he's built a few cars. As far as knowledgeable goes for a build, he is definitely one of the best guys, at least in the NorCal area for sure. He goes, yeah, in the back seat would be a wall.
No.
So
Yeah. Right up to the B pillar, maybe.
that's right,
Sometime.
ish.
It could be a C. It could be a C.
He could be a C pillar, but and guys that build really loud walls, you'll notice they typically aren't right on the B pillar. They're usually set back just a little bit, and that's for usually quarter wave theory. So one of these times we're gonna have to get the guy from FI on here, Scott. He's super smart, but I think he can explain things that he wants to say really well. So
Yeah.
Scott's a good dude. I like Scott. I've known Scott a very long time.
Have you talked to him, Ryan? Because you run all five? No? Oh, okay.
No,
Oh, you've
no,
never talked to him, huh?
Yeah, if you get a
no.
chance, call over there and tell him, hey, you know.
Yeah. I'm a bit of an introvert, so I don't
I
always
gotcha.
reach out to everybody.
I think
But
he's kind of the same way, believe it or not.
Oh,
So,
he is super,
yeah, so,
super. Unless you know him,
right,
he's
yeah,
pretty
exactly.
introverted.
well,
Um,
I feel I'm the same way. I'll talk to you if you talk to me, but I'm not gonna go
yeah.
volunteer.
So how was I mean, like let everybody know how hard was it for us to find a vehicle for your son to use?
Not at all. I mean, you said, we were inquiring about two people using the same vehicle, and
Jeffrey, tell him the rule on that. So you know it's not me. Jeffrey, tell him what's
yeah,
the
no,
rule.
no,
What's
So,
the
I
we didn't.
mean, it's got to be in different formats.
Yes.
So, like, you could be in DB drag and you would run it, and you could take the same vehicle and go to a base race and have your son run it. So, that's allowed,
Mhm.
but not in the same format.
Okay, yeah, we were like, can we do 39 and 29 or whatever? But
Yeah.
no, that was cool. And then Doug jumped right on it, and he says, "I'm sure I can get you a vehicle." So he came through.
Yeah.
Whose
And
was it? Whose car was it?
that was Christian Jensen in that
Oh, that's
black
right.
truck.
Wait, you
Um,
said Jenner,
or
right?
Jenner. No, yeah, yeah, Chris Jenner. Chris Jenner. It was in that black truck that he got his 39.9 ring in, or
Oh,
29.9.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a pretty big system he's got in his car. So,
Oh yeah, and
yeah. Oh,
now he's
yeah.
kind of extremed it. It'd be a
Hmm.
Super Street X vehicle now.
Oh, okay.
Eric Hansen says 29.9 for life. That's the cheapest way to go, for sure.
And why did he bought a 21-inch speaker and put it in the wall and he's only doing 29s. But that's just I guess that's just the way people are sometimes. And you know
uh,
it's believe it or not, it's hard. It's more difficult, I would say, to get that 29.9.
with the
Because
extra, yeah.
yeah, because he could easily do 39s, 49s. I'm sure a lot of people can, but just to get it in check for that 29.9 and not go
Yeah.
over, I think that's like the more difficult thing to do.
Yep. Steve Willis says Doug's loan an SPL vehicle. Nick Stone with that's awesome. Um, so back when we started base race, you used to be able to compete in multiple like 29, 39, and 49, right?
I remember
And
Nyman used to do
and
that, right?
Nyman used to do
Yeah.
that, and his goal every show was to win the 49, 39, and 29
Yeah.
class at the show.
That's
I
I
don't
think
cool.
think he ever did
he's
it.
but I think he's the reason why we don't
He's
allow that now, right?
exactly the reason why we don't allow that. So, but yes, that's how that all came about, and then the rule got morphed and was
Mhm.
used through DB drag and all that. He wasn't the reason it got implemented in DB drag. He was the reason the rule came up, and
Ah,
then and then we started looking into it, and there were some people doing some stuff, and so that's how the rule developed into what it was. Um, Eric says practice was good last Friday. He tied Dana. Well, he's losing to Dana now. She's the bomb, man. She's killing it.
In practice they're kind of back and forth,
Okay.
and it just comes down to the actual competition time, and the people around you, just like the atmosphere and the nerves is when it kicks in, and it's like that's when you have to like rise above, because practice, even though we spend probably like hours practicing,
Hmm.
it's not really going to mean that much when you're in the lane. So you definitely have to get that aspect in check too.
Er-
one of the things that I kind of thought was cool was doing it at night versus during the day. Like when I was
Mm,
doing it at
interesting.
uh, the expo or whatever,
Cal
um,
Expo. Yeah,
sorry,
Autorama.
Autorama. There's glares. It's like
Ah.
beating. It's hard to get an angle and everything, but at night, I mean, that screen was just like right in your face, super bright, and it just seemed like, total focus in the zone.
I will tell you a trick. When you do a daytime show, polarized glasses are your best friend.
Ah, interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
I can see that.
Eric Hansen says she's the boss for sure. She ain't the boss yet. She's got to beat the boss. She ain't been there
Yeah,
yet.
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, Eric says also the lanes are always worse. And a night show on Saturdays. Does that mean you got a night show coming up on a Saturday?
Yes, yes.
Ah,
Not at I don't want to say
afternoon.
late afternoon, early evening, but I might push it back an hour because wow, it's just like we're in a heat wave right now. I think 5 p.m. is like right when it's like peaking, and
Mm-hmm.
then definitely 6 is when it starts dropping temperature. So
Hence the
I'm not
reason
sure
I
yet.
start all mine at 6.
Yes,
Just,
yes.
just saying. Well, I got the Reno one next week's at 3 p.m. So,
But
but
that's because of the venue
noise, yes,
restrictions, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
venue restrictions.
Mhm.
But hey, you know what? It's a great venue. They treat us great. They cordon off the area for us. They bring out trash cans, and literally, when we're done, we just go right inside the casino right there and have dinner or lunch or whatever
Ooh,
after we're done. And
luxury.
it's good dinner. It's at a casino, so it's I think was it prime rib and shrimp for like $16.99 or something.
Wow, the
So
buffet special, huh?
yeah, one of them type things. So it's a good deal. And like I said, they're generous to us. They give us a good chunk of the parking lot for the weekend, for the day. So
That's cool.
we love that stuff. Anyway, Mr. Ryan,
Yes, sir.
why don't you tell us what's your most favorite show you've competed in so far to this date?
Uh, Competition.
Yep.
I I really like the Cal Expo show, Autorama.
Uh huh.
I mean, just the heavy hitters seem to always be there. I've been, I've probably been to about five of them, but a lot of the demo cars that come out, there's a good turnout. Um, I really like to see the Lord of Bass this time. He came out and did that 160 and the Chrysler 300. That was
Yeah.
like so impressive. It's like that's what my car is, and you think
Yeah, yeah.
the same
Similar.
platform, and you
Hmm.
wonder always like, what's the potential of this vehicle if I just dumped everything into it, and I think he got it. I don't know, but that's always been a good vibe. And of course, having the rest of the car show there, all the lowriders and all the hot rods and everything like that. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. I'm a bit of a gearhead, so I
Yeah,
like it all.
obviously you like the classics, hot rods, right?
Yeah.
Because that's
Yep.
where you started, right?
Yep.
Steve Willis wants to know, have you been to a finals yet?
So we went to the last Worlds. Yeah,
Okay, in Concord.
just as spectators,
Okay,
just to check it out. Yeah, that was fun.
yep. Nick Stone says, with your vehicle, possibilities are endless, and obviously
Yeah,
you can do a 160 musical in that
yeah,
car, right?
yeah. That's
Um,
crazy.
Yeah, he's that's Lord of Bass Stone, right?
Stone
Or Lord of
Nick.
Bass. Yes.
Yep,
Right, the
Yeah,
world record holder
he
in
is
Cyclone.
current
Yeah.
record holder in
Oh yeah.
Cyclone, popping in right
yeah.
here.
Cool.
I
Yep.
think it's a pretty boss move. He just shows up for that show and just blows everybody out of the water and then goes home.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, his little icon on Facebook is his
Oh, that's
160.61
right.
for his thing. Anyway, yeah, he says thanks for the kind words. Um,
Right now.
but all right, so what would you tell somebody that was considering competing or sitting on the sidelines or what in that? What would your advice be to them?
Oh, I would say do it and ask questions. I mean, it was kind of cool, like when Maverick, started, this last kind of reintroduction to it. Like, he's younger, and everybody was just so eager to help him. And if that's not in your personality to ask questions and stuff, I don't think there's anybody out there that's not going to help you out, you know. So I think it was like to my detriment that I'm not like super outgoing in a crowd or whatever. But, you know, I think everybody would tell you anything you wanted to know because it's a really cool community. And, you know, competition is kind of fun at, you know, I'm 50 and there's, you know, playing sports and stuff like that. It's always fun. It always raises your game to go up, you know, side by side with somebody else trying to do the same thing as you. And so that aspect of it, I think, is probably unique to DB drag racing and total fun. You know, I always want to try to get better at whatever I'm, you know, putting my focus on. So,
Steve,
and I think a key part of it is, you know, being positive. Because guaranteed, if you come off as like a hole, for lack of a better term, nobody's gonna want to gravitate towards that, and nobody's gonna want to say, "Hey, I can tell you if you do this with your car, you know this, you know, you could do better," or something like that. So I think just by having a positive attitude, creating like a positive demeanor towards yourself, you're just gonna have people gravitate towards you and say, "Hey, this is the person who really wants to learn. You know, he's gonna listen, and you know, we don't have to be afraid of this dude, you know, talking stuff behind our back." So, so I guess that really shows. That really does show.
absolutely, yeah.
Steve Willis says buy drugs instead. It's probably cheaper.
Yeah, no doubt.
So if you had, I mean, this is the show. You did Top Dog. You won your 29.9. You won your Top Dog. What advice would you have to somebody on how to do base race or Top Dog? Do you have any advice on how they should approach the run? How they should, you know, prep in the lanes? What advice would you give somebody that was new to, or even somebody that's a veteran at competing?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the lessons I've learned is have a good boom check, because I learned that the wrong way. I had to adjust my entry from 39 to 29. So, and then, you know, try to take all the variables out of it. You know, be consistent with a volume. You know, it's like I think my head unit goes to 33 and I keep it around to 25. It seems to work there, and get a good base knob. Having that tool is, you know, key. And then, you know, anything you can do to kind of calm your nerves and, you know, your mental preparation, just so you can roll up there confident. And you know, I don't know. I don't take it too seriously, but I know a lot of people do. But, you know, I think we're all there just having fun, and it's really cool. Everybody's, you know, congratulates you, and it's a good vibe. So at the end of the day, there's nothing to be worried about.
Yep. So one thing that helps is if you pull into the lane with the song queued up, like ready to go, because then you don't feel rushed when it's time to go. Because, I mean, I don't know about the competitors in Jeffrey's lanes, but in my lanes, I promise you, I make you feel rushed if you're not ready to go. Because I'm, all right, you ready to go? You ready to go? Let's go. Come on. And, you know, and I'm constantly doing that, right? So if you pull up in there ready to go to where you just got to do, or whatever your prep is, all right, I'm good to go. You know?
Yeah, I experienced that. You know, you were giving me the thumbs up, and I'm like, I'm not ready. You know, I'm doing my mental checklist, and, you know, you're patient with everybody. So when I'm ready, then I'm ready, and you get the thumbs up.
Yeah.
I want to make a suggestion. So to maybe take it a step further, and maybe to that next level is get yourself a term lab.
Yeah.
You and the kids, maybe you guys could all pitch in and then
Oh, for sure.
have Friday night family base race night or something, and just all go heads up, and you're just making yourselves better that way. So if you get a chance, get a term lab, maybe borrow one just for the evening or something from somebody, and yeah, just practice, have fun.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Eric Hansen says Top Dog was fun last year at World Finals, and he said Jeffrey's very patient. Steve Willis
Yeah.
says having a meter is key.
Yes,
And
definitely.
Rosa or Nick Stone says the adrenaline is crazy. Rosa seems to think I'm pretty a patient guy. Somebody was
Impatient.
No, it says patient.
Oh.
Yeah. Reynoso, Danny Reynoso. I was giving him the 2-minute countdown this weekend.
Okay.
He's kind of walking to his car. You got 1 minute. And then my very next word was, you got a minute, you got 60 or 40 seconds, 30 seconds, about that quick.
Yeah, he was really good. He was on it too.
Yeah, he was, his base race was on point for sure.
Yeah.
Rosa says, you're patient, maybe.
You're a patient.
Oh, I am a patient, maybe. Yeah. So, but
I
yeah.
guess the other thing I would say, it's probably obvious, was, this last go around, I just wasn't worried about what was going on in the lane next to me. It was just me and the screen and, the meter, the clock, the base knob. That's all I was focused on.
Yep. Steve Willis said I've done base race once back when it came out. He loved losing that day, but but I've always been an SPL guy. One of the great things about base race and Top Dog is, realistically, if you're even okay at it, you have a chance of winning that day. Because, they got to be perfect to beat you, if you're just okay. So that's right. That's good. Rosa says, yes, ignore your surroundings and focus on cooking and listening. I don't think that's what she meant.
What?
I don't know.
Looking, probably.
Yeah, probably looking and listening, not cooking and listening. Now, Moses is all about the cooking part. But, yeah, and then so another thing is, he listened to the podcast, and he was playing a boom check that wasn't at his peak frequency. And that smooths out, right? That's what you did also, right? You played something beyond.
Yeah, mine just was a crappy recording, and I got the best effect out of Boom Check 4 or whatever for my system. So there was a little trial and error with that one too.
Okay. So, but that also helps smooth out the response when it changes frequencies. It's not as drastic of a change within your system, right? So that's all good. But yeah, no, it was a good time. Show seemed pretty fast. We were done by 10:15 or something like that. I think I was wrapped up by like 10:40 on my way home. Eric Hansen says his new system uses Boom Check 4. Pretty high frequency, especially if he's doing Cyclone too, But
I think it was like 34 in my car. I think it was like at 34 in my car.
Okay.
That's what it came out to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to see all that ayahuasca there too. That was my first exposure to a dual org, event. So,
okay.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting to check out what was going on over there, and it was really cool that everybody was participating in both orgs. So.
Yep. We may have more of those. It's odd to do it because DB drag is very time specific. So hey, it's your time in the lanes. You got to be in the lanes. Every other organization out there is you don't have a specific time to be in the lane, right? You can be now, you can be later. It doesn't matter. So it that's why it makes it difficult for DB Drag to uh, cohabitate. Do a multi-org venue. Is
And
just
I'll have to agree. What I came across in my last event in Grapevine was it was four organizations, right? There was Base Wars, USAC, IASCA, and the DB Drag. One big thing that we kind of ran into, my I guess biggest fear was the logistics. Are we gonna create a line? Are
right.
cars gonna get boxed in? But we actually ran into a couple of hurdles
Mm-hmm.
in that. Say we were doing base race or top dog, and the the organization next to us, maybe we could have spaced this out more,
Oh,
but they were doing like their SPL runs, so they would be like burping 60s with the door open, and while we're doing top dog, and it's like they're like on that last 10th, or then they hear that and they jump, and then they break out or something like that. So it was something that we kind of had to work around,
mm-hmm.
but that's another hurdle when you talk about multi-org.
Yep.
I think if we kind of coordinate that better, it'd be a lot more flawless. But just
It's
a heads
difficult
up.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
There's my middle daughter poking her head in here. Allie says, "What's up?" Eric says, "On the website there are boom checks with 22-minute tracks." So,
Wow.
Yes. We just I'm not sure if it's been out there like that. I know when I checked out the latest, well, it's not really the latest volume. I think it was more of an edition, but
okay.
the boom checks are they're longer versions, so they're 22 minutes. And I think Wayne had I think he had put a couple of different boom checks in sequential order. Like I think there was like boom check one, boom check two, boom check three, four, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So if you guys have a DB Drag membership, go check out your profile. It's going to have all the downloads. It's going to have, in addition to the boom checks, it's going to have the rules that you could download and print
Mm-hmm.
out. But definitely check out the boom checks. I was a little surprised that we got 22-minute tracks, but definitely it'll help you out for Top Dog if you guys are getting those time extensions for sure.
Yep. You even had what, like 3 time extensions when you did Top Dog this
Yeah,
weekend?
Oh
yeah,
wow,
that was cool.
there you go.
Yeah. They did a
Yeah,
1 time extension, and then whoever he was going against, was it Rosa? I think. Um,
right.
she's climbing, climbing, climbing. Time extension, bust out instantly, and then he
Oh,
followed her with a bust out. So
Yeah,
she had him at half his points, and she busted out, but he thankfully busted out too to give her another chance, and then he beat her. So,
it's more just more practice.
yeah,
exactly. And that happens sometimes too. It's like, your competitional bust, and it's like, do I really want to win this way? Hey, let me bust too, and then let's just go heads up, type
Oh,
things.
that's cool. Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of people that do that.
Hmm.
So, how far off is your son's build from being done?
Um, he's talking about 3 months. He has everything. It's
Okay.
just the time to put it all together. He's been acquiring everything. So there's a stack of gear in his bedroom dominating a third of it. And yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Rosa says, "My excuse was I didn't follow my own advice." Eric
Mm,
responded by, "Rosa, you let someone beat you?" And Steve Willis follows it up with, "Well, a win's a win."
a win is a win.
And he ain't wrong. So, but no, that's cool. I think, you and your family have something you could do together, which is always really the goal. You know,
Right.
my family was out there helping me run meters for years. Um, you know, uh, they never did any of the car audio building with me because I stopped in 2000. My son was born in 2000 or 2001. I started judging, so I built my last car before he was even able to crawl. So that was the last time I built a car for competing. And really, I don't think my daughters remember much of my building my cars. I've had some pretty nice cars that I built and got loud, and I've done my little thing. I'm past
You
that
you
point.
both you both have world championships.
I do not. I built a car that went to World Finals, and we had an issue. So back in the day, we would the meters could be as much as 4 or 5 dB difference, right?
Wow.
And so one person on the team was always designated. Jeffrey knows this. You're the meter watcher. So you know when you have lane choice what meter to go to because it's a hot meter.
Wow.
And so our meter watcher, when we went to World Finals, mixed up which meter was hot.
Oh man.
So we go up there, and we were going against Steve Azevedo, and on the same meter, we were about 4.5 dBs louder than Steve. But that was the time that he peaked that hot meter and did a 170 in Super Street 1 to 2 back in like 2001 or 2002. So, anyway, so
Was that before Term Lab, or was that
yes,
with Term Lab?
that was with the Linear X, and was it Term Lab?
Audio control.
Audio control and Linear X were the meters we were using then.
Wow.
So, but you know that's what it is.
Yeah, I've got a couple world championships.
He's got a
That's
couple.
awesome.
Hey, he held the loudest no wall car for like 6 years or 5 years or something like that before anybody got loud enough to eclipse his score.
Okay. What was that setup?
Oh man, it was in a 1992 Plymouth Voyager. It was the quintessential soccer mom van.
Oh yeah.
And it was in no wall. It was in a no wall class. I had 218s. Man, I forgot how many batteries. It was close to like this is the AGM batteries.
Yep.
I had like 30 plus batteries back there. I had 8 amplifiers, each at a 10,000 watts. So I had about 80,000 watts total. Never really clamped it. But yeah.
So back in that day when Jeffrey was there, it was adelic balancing because you needed the volume behind the box. And when you added batteries, you lost that volume.
Mm-hmm.
So it was as many batteries as you can get till you start losing score. So you were kind of playing a delicate balance of how much power you can get versus the air volume needed in the cab, because your cab becomes a box, right?
Exactly. I think I started off with the batteries just all over the floor in the back, and then the app rack on top, and then it wasn't until I took the batteries in the middle and stacked them higher on the back of the box, and then just kind of lined the outside the back with batteries, that I created like a bigger void, I guess, and it ended up helping out. But I remember those days just doing a bunch of different things, bolting the box to the vehicle, not bolting it, messing with the air conditioning vents and turning on the AC during the run, turning off the AC.
Visor up, visor down. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's stuff that we used to do way back in the day.
Yep.
Glove compartment down, visor down. Fold the seats up, but then we came up with that rule where it's got to be 30 inches away from the sensor. But
yeah, because you know what? My last car I built, my 56 Pontiac, 56 Pontiac. That seat folded and created a pocket. And it was the factory seat, and it literally created a pocket for that. So I turned my seat into a port. So I was able to do a decent. I did a 58 on 1,500 watts. So
no kidding.
Yeah, But yes, Steve is right. I believe it was the Term Lab microphone back then. And then,
Was it?
yeah, and then if you set a world record, you had to do it with like the um, black. What was the other one? Um, black
B&K?
B&K. Yeah, the B&K. So the B&K was the main one if you wanted to set a legal record. Yeah, he
Yeah,
says it
that
was the
was.
Pro mic. So,
But
but
was that connected to the audio control stick mics though,
no,
or?
no, no. It was the Term Pro mic itself.
Okay.
The audio control was a option you could use at World Finals. Um, it had to be the Term Pro mic, except for the world records. You would back them up with a B&K.
I remember one year they had like the suitcase that they came around
Yep,
and
that
to
was the calibrated mics. That was in
calibrate. So
2000. Yeah.
yeah, so they stick the stick mic in there, and
Yep.
then I don't know what it does. They push a button, and then it supposedly calibrates it, right?
Yeah, so
So
but it
yeah.
calibrates it at a very specific frequency at a very specific SPL level. So
Oh,
unless
okay.
you're at that level, at that frequency, it would adjust accordingly. Um, Eric wants to know when's our multi-venue. I don't know. Yes, it was an air generator. It was exactly what it was, Steve.
Ah, okay. That's what it was.
Yep, that was the calibrator. Was this? Was the when? Okay. Well, anyway, we're up on our hour almost exactly right now. So,
Oh, cool.
with that being said, why don't you hit Mr. Ryan with our question we always hit with everybody?
All right, Ryan. This is a question that we ask all of our guests. Basically, we want to know what is your definition of a bass head.
Uh, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I think it's first and foremost, it's a music lover with an excessive personality who has a preference for low tones and frequencies. I think, first you, the first introduction is music, then you just want it louder, and then the 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 frequencies that affect you the most and draw you to vehicles are those low frequencies.
Yeah.
The low lows.
All right.
You
Cool.
hear it across the parking lot. I mean,
And your
I
eyes perk up. Hey.
like bees to honey, or
Yeah.
whatever's coming down the street. You're like, what is that? What's that guy got?
I think the definition now is a little different than back then as far as lows. I know
Yeah.
now a lot of the guys are doing like 10 hertz, 15 hertz, but back then, around 40 regular bass notes, that was what we considered low. But
Well,
Right.
Miami bass, right? Miami bass from the late '80s. I was listening
mhm.
to. That's all 50 hertz, right? So a
Wow,
lot
Right.
of the Miami bass is 50 hertz, and I love those songs.
that's like mid bass now.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I remember like the Beastie Boys, Paul Revere had like
Ah,
reverse bass,
Yes.
and it was like everybody wanted to amplify that zoom, 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 you know, and yeah, that was like we got to hear that as loud as we can.
Yep.
You'd
All right.
watch the woofer suck back.
Yes, the woofer went the wrong way.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anybody you want to put a shout out to, or any of that stuff, Mr. Ryan?
Oh, I would just say the wife and kids and everybody out there on the in the DB drag family. I appreciate all the help that I've gotten from all you guys, and you make it a very welcoming environment and a lot of fun.
All right. Jeffrey, what you got going on?
this Saturday, June 29th, it's going to be a 5 p.m. start time, going to kind of beat the heat. It's going to be at Crossfire Car Audio in Grapevine, Texas. It's going to be a 1X DB drag event. You guys are in the area, definitely come check it out. With finals coming around, I think there was an announcement not too long ago
Yeah.
about finals
Multi
locations,
venues. Yep.
multi venues. So definitely, you guys are in the running to get your points to make it out to World Finals. I will say though, for us Texas guys, expect a venue pretty soon. I
Ooh.
can't really say just yet, but there will be one in Texas. So definitely, if you guys are on the cusp of getting your points for finals, getting that invite, definitely come out, start doing all the shows. If you're a little behind in points, I'm thinking about doing like these crazy night events where it's I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but definitely keep your eye on the calendar for events in Texas. But again, this Saturday, Grapevine, Texas, 5 p.m. start time. Beat the Heat, DB Drag.
Awesome. For me, I'll be in Reno next week. So this coming weekend we'll be in Reno. Um, 3 p.m. at Baldini's. 3 p.m. start, 5 p.m. brackets. So if you guys want to come up and do that in Reno, that's awesome. We always have a good time in Reno. We get the Reno guys out there. Josh Tatu, typically Rusty, and the DC Audio truck comes out. Justin Hankey might even do some top dog and base race. He's pretty solid at that game though, in case you guys don't know. But we typically they come out to the venues and have a great time. But other than that, I just want to say, hey, we got to thank our spouses and our kids and whatnot. Without them, that doesn't give us an opportunity to do this. If they, by the way, yeah, Rosa in the chat is her and Moses stepped up and made Reno a 2X at 1X price and trophies. So it's just 2 times the points for a normal 1X show. So if you guys need to get points for finals, we're working on a lot of places right now. We got like 6 emails out to a bunch of indoor venues here in Northern California. So keep that in mind for you guys that want to go to finals. As we said, in base race and top dog, literally anybody that has a good day has the potential of winning a championship ring in base race and top dog.
Anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it. I mean, shoot, I just jump in anybody's car. I don't practice or nothing, and I can do 29.9s all day.
Prime example.
Crazy. That's crazy.
So, but anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys, hey, thank your spouses, thank your kids for the opportunity to be able to do this thing. Because
would you go as far as to saying to thank your haters too, right?
Oh, dude, love haters.
They motivate you.
Love
they're
the haters.
Probably the biggest motivators.
Okay, Eric. So Eric's talking about bowling in the chat so much. I'll let him know. So I bowled 2 tournaments this weekend. I got first in one, second in the other. All right. I don't got bowling tonight. I got tonight off. Nice. I don't start Mondays back until August. So Monday nights I'm here for the podcast until August. So just saying. Anyway, once say thank you to our sponsors again: Voodoo Customs, Stolman Transportation, E-Box Design and Install, Badass Sounds by Steve. Did I miss it? No, I said everybody. That's all. Voodoo, Stolman, Badass, and E-Box. Yep. Want to thank you guys again for sponsoring the show. Without you guys, it makes it much more difficult to run the show. So thank you guys very much. If anybody else wants to sponsor the podcast, they can message either Jeffrey or myself. We have very reasonable rates as far as podcasts go. We actually, when it's all said and done, about a week we're running into about 1,500 views between Facebook, downloaded podcast, and YouTube. So if you guys are interested in doing that, we have a worldwide presence. We have people from Iceland, New Zealand,
Barbados,
Australia, Barbados, Canada, Mexico, Brazil that watch the podcast. So Germany, New England. Justin Stolman says he loves sponsoring the show. So he's Stolman Transportation. So once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Jeffrey and I can't believe that you guys keep listening to us every week. So we appreciate it. Guys, come to the shows, and like we say every week, just invite one person. If everybody invites one person to the show, we double in attendance. Can you imagine if your show had double the participation? How awesome that would be. Just one time. Everybody invites one extra person. It would make for a phenomenal show. You guys have a great time. Anyway, guys, once again, we'd like to thank you for being here on the podcast. We'll see you next week at 5:30 p.m. California time. Once again, the only time that matters. We'll see you next week. Peace. We out.